You would think driving a new Audi in the second largest city on the Mediterranean coast will make me a happy camper. Well, it does, but I'm mad at a few things, and I'm gonna tell you what. Audi introduces their new 2026 A5 family, and before I tell you what's bugging me, here's some things to know, and try to stay with me. The new A5 and S5 are the first Audis on the PPC platform, or Premium Platform Combustion, and it's the replacement for the A4 and S4 because moving forward, Audi will now have odd numbers designated for their internal combustion engines and even numbers for their electric vehicles, which will have the underpinnings of the new Premium Platform Electric. So what's gonna happen to the current A5 that's on the Audi website? Will the coupe live on as a different odd number? Will there be an all-world version? Your guess is as good as mine. But let's move on to my gripes. Number one, there's a mild hybrid version of the A5 and S5 which delivers an e-boost for more acceleration, helps coast on highways, and can potentially save some fuel, but the US won't be getting it. Number two, you see those cool OLED taillights that have different light signatures that the driver can customize? Yeah, those won't be coming to the States either. And finally, my biggest disappointment, number three. The Avant variants, with all of its sexy practicality and delicious wagony goodness, you guessed it, will not be coming to the US market. Well, if you're not a big fan of wagons or hybrid technology, you'll be just fine. The new A5 family is being presented as a mid-sized luxury sedan. This generation is 67 millimeters longer, sits lower, has a flatter front end with slimmer headlights, and gets a short back end with a large trunk. And surprise, surprise, it's a liftback. Practicality comeback. Behind the rear seats, there's 15.7 cubic feet of cargo room, and you can indeed fold the 40-20-40 split rear seats for up to 45 cubic feet. The model I'm testing happens to be the S5. Oh, and the best part is, there are no fake exhaust on here. Those little tiny ports in the back, yeah, those are actually exhaust tips. You can stick a stick in it. You're welcome, Matt Watson. The A5 for the US market will have a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with 268 horsepower and 400 newton meters, sorry, I'm in Europe, 295 pound-feet of torque. That will be linked to a 7-speed automatic transmission, and Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system is standard. The Audi S5 tester I'm driving has a turbocharged 3-liter V6 engine putting out 362 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque, or 550 newton meters for all my metric fans out there. This is also mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission with Quattro all-wheel drive and gets the S5 from 0 to 60 in an estimated 4.6 seconds. So right now I'm driving that MHEV mild hybrid S5, and Audi let me know that the power numbers are gonna be similar and so are the driving dynamics, but just to preface this, yeah, I'm driving the one we won't get in the States. There's plenty of power to play around with in the S5, and the transmission shifts nice and quickly, and if you want to select your own gears, there are paddle shifters mounted to the steering wheel. But I'm not in love with the brakes. Yeah, I know this is the MHEV, but they do feel a little bit squishy on tip-in. I wish they gave me a little bit more engagement, but they are predictable and they won't get you in trouble. In lieu of not getting the mild hybrid variant, the US market will get A and S5s with an optimized start-stop system instead. Fuel economy numbers aren't out just yet, but it would be interesting to see the difference in MPGs since Audi claims the power numbers will be similar between the hybrid and non-hybrid powertrains. As far as driving dynamics, the new A5 family has stiffer steering, increased camber on the front axle, and available dynamic dampers that can lower the vehicle 20 millimeters. The Quattro all-wheel drive system can send 100% of the power to the front axle when all-wheel drive isn't needed, and during hard acceleration can distribute power to the front and rear axles in a 30-70 split. While driving through these windy roads in South France, the S5 is staying really stable. There's not a lot of body roll, which is great. It feels planted, and the Quattro all-wheel drive system is doing a great job at sticking me to the road, especially in these wet conditions. And the steering, it feels a little light. Thankfully, there are different drive modes. I'm gonna throw it in dynamic mode. And yeah, the steering stiffens up a bit. That feels great. The suspension firms up a bit, and the throttle mapping changes as well. It holds gears a lot longer, and it definitely gives you a sportier driving experience. And I gotta add, the sound that's coming out of this S5, it doesn't sound bad either. It really sounds good. The interior layout of the S5 looks nice. The screens are great. They look nice and clear. It's kind of weird with the digital gauge cluster because the borders around the top and bottom are kind of thick. So it makes the gauge cluster look a little narrow in certain lighting situations, but it gives you all of its pertinent information. And this curved display is a really nice touch. And the passenger side display, that's for the passengers, so don't look at that. Keep your eyes on the road. And speaking of which, there's a new head-up display that's 85% larger, and it also gives you all of that good information that's right in your line of sight. As far as the infotainment screen, it's fairly intuitive. It may take a little bit of getting used to this interface, but most of your options are just a couple clicks away, which is nice. The HVAC controls are embedded into the screen just at the bottom. They're nice and easy to work, and so are the heated and cooled seat controls. And there's also this neat feature where this seat has 2 speakers in the headrest, so I'm actually getting fed navigation instructions through these speakers, and you can also get phone calls that come through these speakers as well, so people won't hear your conversation on the outside of your car, because some of y'all be talking about the wildest stuff. In the driver's position, I have plenty of space. These seats are very comfortable, they're very supportive, and they have a great range of motion along with the steering wheel. Now, I'm not in love with the Squircle shape. I'd rather prefer maybe a D-shaped flat bottom steering wheel, but it feels good and it looks nice, and the controls on the steering wheel are easy to operate as well. But as far as the back seat, if you're tall, it can be a little dicey. Thanks to a longer wheelbase, the new A and S5 has more space for passengers. But in the rear, tall folks like myself will have to contend with that sloping roofline and some pretty tight leg space. And for middle seat occupants, there's a large tunnel to deal with. But at least there are rear seat warmers, vents, and USB-C ports to keep your passengers happy. The fit and finish of the S5 feels and looks premium. There's not a lot of squeaks or rattles. I don't really like the piano black near my center stack, so if there's an option to get open pore wood or a matte finish or carbon fiber or whatever, get that, because this is prone to all the scratches and fingerprints. But besides that, the visibility in the S5 is good going outward. I like how you can see a lot of the road, and over both shoulders it looks nice. But going straight back, there's not a lot of real estate going through this rear view mirror. Standard safety features for the new A5 family at launch will include parking sensors, lane departure warning, and cruise control. If you're looking for more safety like rear cross traffic alert, lane change assist, and adaptive cruise control, a wide range of options will be offered in packages and available on higher trims. So the Audi S5 is fun on the back roads, it's tame in the city, and it's practical. What else can you ask for? A damn wagon. That's what. A van. Yeah. Pricing for the new A5 and S5 hasn't been announced yet, but Audi is expecting it to land somewhere between the current price of the 2025 A4 and A5 models, and goes on sale spring/summer of 2025. If you're in the market for a sports sedan, a sports coupe, an SUV, whatever, go on kbb.com and get a fair purchase price. kbb.com, click the link above for more details. Some competitors in this mid-sized luxury sedan segment include the BMW 5 Series, Lexus ES, Acura TLX, Volvo S90, Genesis G80, and Mercedes-Benz E-Class, which sells a wagon in the US. So the Audi S5, no, we're not gonna get the wagon. No, we're not gonna get the mild hybrid system, but we are gonna get a nice, fun, practical sedan with a lot of tech. And if that's your jam, check out the Audi S5 for yourself. Now I'm gonna let this guy pass because I've been kicking his for the last 10 miles. Come on, GR Corolla, you want some of this? No, GR Yaris.
Yaris, that's a real car.
Oh yeah, Quattro, let's go.